How's it going, YouTube? I'm here to bring you my top 4 Dinosaur deck profile for locals. Yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so to start, of course, 3 Oviraptor. This card is your main normal summon. He's your searcher. He can also dump, but you rarely use that effect. You know, when you play, normally you'll add. So you need 3 of those. You gotta max out on him. 2 Archosaur. He's your other normal summon. So like all together, those are your total 5 normal summons. When this card is summoned, you can pop a dinosaur monster in hand, except for itself, and you can add a double evolution pill, which gets you to Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. So you definitely have to play 2 of these, especially for the grind game. 3 is too much because you can kind of get clogged on this, and then you kind of be stuck. Normally this isn't a card you want to see. This is normally a card you want to special summon. But if you don't see Soul Eating Oviraptor, which is your other starter, then you would go and you would just shotgun this and hope it doesn't get ash, kind of. Alright, next up, for the babies, 3 Baby Ceratosaurus. This card is phenomenal. This strategy is based off of how many babies you can pop. So 3 Baby Ceratosaurus and the 1 petite. This is just standard. This is regular stuff. But like I said, this strategy is based off of how many babies can you pop to build up your end board. And this deck can come up with crazy end boards. I'm talking ending in 7 disruptions. So that's when you go full combo, especially. And even then, if you get stopped, the board can end on like a Baguska. Even, for example, if you get stopped at 2 level 4s, a simple Baguska just turns the whole duel around. So now for our 1-ofs, got the 1 Misk, the only Misk. Konami, please bring this to 2, because I'm tired of this card like being glued to my hand, and then sometimes it's like my only play, and as soon as I dump it to the graveyard, oh, there goes DD Crow. Oh, Call by the Grave. Oh, Ash. Oh, Ghost Bell. Like, please bring this to 2. I miss Misk a lot, and I would just like to see it brought back to 2. That'd be great. Then you got the 1-of Giant Rex. He's very important for your combo. He's a extender, so you can banish him with double evolution pill to summon him back onto the field to make another synchro 8 or another like rank 4. So you can end your board off however you want to. Normally your end board is going to consist of like the same cards, considering that Dino is a very linear deck. But you can end the end board however you feel like it's necessary to end the end board. But if you do, know this: do not end on a board of Appaloosa and Dolka. You don't need all of those monster negates. You probably want to get something like Borload Savage Dragon or summon Psyframe Lord Omega when you do your end board. So that's it for that. Now it's time for the boss monsters. 2 Ultimate Conductor Tyrannos, 1 Pankratops, 1 Dogoran. This is literally Yu-Gi-Oh's best boss monster. He breaks so many boards, like just him by himself. He's a Book of Moon. He's like a walking Book of Moon, or is it Book of Eclipse? Basically what he does is you can destroy like 1 monster card on your hand or field, and you can just basically flip all of your opponent's monsters face down. And then he can attack all of your monsters, so he can just clear a board by himself. Then we have Dino Wrestler Pink. Dino Wrestler Pink is like a target, like a 1-for-1 trade kinda. He's the card that's gonna get like your opponent's problematic cards off the field. And he's basically kind of like a free summon if you draw him, like going second. He's just a free summon to throw on the board. Like anytime your opponent controls more monsters than you do, free Pinkertop summon. This card actually helped me win a couple of games. It came in clutch. It was very helpful. So that's that for the boss monsters. Dogoran I didn't see much of during the tournament. We only had like 3 rounds of Swiss, and then we ended up going in the top cut. I think it was 8 players there altogether, and I got top 4. So Dogoran, he didn't really come up much, but the goal of Dogoran is just to tribute over any opponent's problematic monsters going second. The way I built this deck is it's a deck that can either go first or second. Normally we blind first with it though, and then depending upon what we play against, then we can decide if we can go second against this deck or not. So that's that. Next, we're on to the scrap package. So 2 scrap raptors and 1 scrap chimera. These cards are very, very essential for the combo. This package right here is what makes Dinos like so explosive. It makes it the deck that it is, like that is supposed to be, like a very combo heavy and eccentric deck. That's what this package does. It's phenomenal. Some people would suggest playing more than 2. Some people will play 3 because if you draw one in hand, then you don't have any targets for that. And this is like this you want to add to your hand, so it can summon out this from the graveyard. So that is something to consider as well. You can play 3 of these, in order for, like, you know, if this ever goes in your hand, you still have 2 in deck. So that's that. Next off, for our monster hand traps, we've got, of course, the Gamma package, because the Gamma package has always been Dino's bread and butter. And this card has helped me stop some crazy decks. I think my first duel was against Dragon Link. My second duel was against what did I play? I don't know. I just know that I lost that one. I don't remember. The third duel I played was Despia. And then the fourth... Oh, I got clapped by Live Twin twice. So, once in Swiss, and then once in the top cut when we got to the top 4. So, Gamma came in really, really clutch, though, during most of those games. Ash, of course, triple Ash. Ash just hits everything. In my opinion, personally, yeah, it may be low impact, but it's still one of the best. I think it is the best hand trap in the format, considering it hits literally every deck. I don't think there is a deck that doesn't, that Ash doesn't cover. Alright, so now we go on to the spells. We got Triple Lost World. Triple Lost World is very standard because this card is amazing. When you put a token on your opponent's field, your opponent can't target monsters on your field. They can only target the token while it's on the field. This protects the token. This pops babies. Like, this can be like a combo starter. So you can start this with like Lost World plus Oviraptor, or Lost World plus Scrap Raptor, or Lost World plus Archosaur plus Baby. And that's like full combo essentially. So this card, very important for the deck. I would have played terraforming, but I wanted to keep the deck like minimum, like 41 cards, I believe this deck list is, and I didn't want to go in over that. So next is 3 Fossil Dig. This card is amazing. It helps you search out any dinosaur monster you need that's level 6 and lower. So obviously you're gonna either be targeting Soul Eating Oviraptor, Misk, or Baby Ceratosaurus. Other than that, this card is just fairly standard, and it helps boost the deck's consistency a lot to go full combo easier. Next is Double Evolution Pill. This is what's gonna make it easy. Normally you use one of these during your main combo. So the other one is kind of for like a grind game, for late game. You know, it does come up. You do need 2 of these. You cannot, one is not enough, and 3 is too much, because this card is very bad opening it. This is a card that you don't want to see in your opening hand. But it is very essential to the deck, so that's why we played it too. Then the next, 3 Dark Ruler No More. Like I said, I built this deck to either be able to go first or second. So Dark Ruler No More just turns off your opponent's board, and then you make your board, play through a couple hand traps, you make your board, you clear your opponent's board basically for free. Next is Call By, the one of Call By. I kind of wish they would bring this card to 2 so I can actually protect my Misk, or they need to just put Misk back to 2. That would be great. But Call By is to protect my combo. So like if I get Ash at a certain point and I need that Ash out of the way, or if I get Ghost Belt at a certain point, or DD Crowed, just Call By. And the next is Monster Reborn. This was just an interesting choice that I wanted to go with. The reason why I chose Monster Reborn is because in testing, it does come up against like late stage, and it actually helps grind. So like if I summon out, more often than not, if the game goes on long enough, I would be able to special summon Ultimate Conductor Tyranno by its effect. So then if it does get destroyed, I can just simply bring it back with this. And it was already hard enough for my opponent to get over the first Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, the first 2. So then when I summon it back with this, late game, while both of us are low on resources, it's hard to get over a 3,500 attack point monster. So this came in, that was the theory behind it. Did it come up? I saw it once. I saw this card once, and that was about it. I saw it during my game in the top 4, and I thought it was gonna come up, but I opened it and it never came up because I definitely bricked so hard that last game, and it sucked because I bricked against Live Twin all 4 games. So both matches, all 4 games, I bricked, and it was just sad to see. Every other game, I didn't brick at all, and if I did brick, it was like a soft brick. It was nothing like extra crazy or nothing super crazy. Next up for the traps, which is also a hand trap, 3 Infinite Impermanence. This card is just so good. I feel like there's always a spot where you can hit your opponent with Infinite Impermanence. It does help with most decks. So like normally you can hit their normal summon with this when you're going second. Or even if you're going first, you could just set this card and then just activate it on your opponent's turn. So it's good either going first or going second. When you go second, you can activate this card from your hand. So it's like, that's a really good effect. Now on to the extra deck. For the extra deck, we got our Link 1s, which is Link Karibo and Secure Gardener. Normally, when your combo gets stopped, if your combo ever gets stopped, you normally would just simply go Like with Archosaur, if your combo gets stopped with Archosaur, you go Link Karibo because it requires a level 1 monster. So you just go Link Karibo and then link off Link Karibo and go into Secure Gardener. Like these two are definitely mandatory because like they also give you basically a free double evolution pill target by putting Link Karibo in the graveyard as well as having the Animador and Archosaur. And then you just banish one non-dino, one dino, which you'll banish the Link Karibo and the Archosaur. And then that's how you get, you know, access to your double evolution pill to make it live. So for the Link 2s, Scrap Wyvern, Nightmare Cerberus, and Nightmare Phoenix. So Scrap Wyvern, that's just a part of the main Scrap combo. That's just one of the combos. Like this is a main part of your combo. Like this is always going to be a part of your main combo. Like if you get that far. Nightmare Cerberus. There was a theory behind this card that I wanted to play in this deck. When you link summon it, you can discard one card and destroy one special summon monster on your opponent's field. This was for more going second to break boards. And it was also to go, you know, Scrap Wyvern, then Nightmare Cerberus, then use these two to go into Axis Code. So you go into Axis Code with these two. You just simply pick whichever one because they both have a link rating of 2. And then they go in for they give Access Code 2000 attack. Now that's just for going second. That was the theory behind it. So to break the board even more. These two are both board breaking cards. This one can pop a card on your opponent's field. And this one pops just a special summon monster. So that was that. Nightmare Phoenix. Nightmare Phoenix is just a spell and trap removal. You just discard one and you destroy a spell on the field. Now, granted, it didn't come up much because like I never really got the chance to go full combo. But normally this card is really good. It comes up late game normally. For my Link 3s, Nightmare Unicorn, just to have the Nightmare package. The Nightmare package is really nice. So what this one does is you can discard one card and then you can bounce a card on your opponent's field to the deck, which can make way for like easy OTKs by just bouncing one card on your opponent's field. And that's all that does. Appaloosa. You gotta have Appaloosa. Appaloosa is a must play in this deck. This is where you get most of your negates from. When I say this deck puts up 7 negates, Appaloosa at the end of the combo normally makes up for 3 of those 7 negates. So you get 3 from Appaloosa, 2 from Borlo Savage Dragon, 1 disruption from Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, and 1 interruption from Psyframe Lord Omega. And this card is just amazing. I don't have access code, so the budget option for it was Topologic Zero Boros. And what this card does is it gains 200 attack points for each banished card, I believe. Yeah, it gains 200 attack for each banished card. So mine and my opponent's card together. This card had got up to 4,000 attack at one point. It was like huge, but it lost 500 because Lost World was on the field, but it was enough to clear my opponent for game. Next we go into the Xyz monsters. So Bagooska. Bagooska is just a goated card. If you get stopped at 2 level 4s, you just make Bagooska in defense mode, and then all of the monsters that your opponent plays get turned into a defense position, and then their activated effects get negated. So let's say my opponent tried to summon a Luber. He normal summons a Luber. Bagooska, he normal summons it, it activates its effect. Bagooska turns it to defense position, and it negates the activated effect. Evil Sword Dolka. Dolka is just 2 monster negates, so just 2 level 4 dragon type, dinosaur type monsters. And you just detach one and it's a monster negate. So this is like more for late game after like your Apollos is exhausted. Or if you want to have, or if you want to get stopped. Or if you get stopped, like this card is also a go-to card where you can just get some extra monster negates in. And that's simply it for this one. Logia. I don't make this card too often. I was thinking about cutting it. But what this one does is basically it detaches both its materials to it basically negates the summon or activation of any like card. And I mean it's a good effect, but it only has a one-time use. That's my only problem with it. But other than that, this card is like pretty solid. Abyss Dweller. This card will always keep a space in my extra deck because most Yu-Gi-Oh combo decks today, even decks like Outlage, kind of go into their graveyard and activate effects in their graveyard, like monster effects in their graveyard. So, actually, no. It's just card effects in general. So you can detach one of these, and your opponent can't activate any graveyard effects. So their graveyard is just completely shut off. They don't get any, like with Despia, they don't gain any advantage. Earth Machine is definitely weak to, like, graveyard negation. Like, this card just comes in so handy. Zombies, like, this card is just so handy. Like, this is a must play in your extra deck. The next is Dugares, the Timeless. Dugares is just a simple OTK mechanism. Basically, you detach 2 materials and you can target one monster on the field and double its attack. Simple. So you make your 3,500 beater into a 7,000 attack point monster. And yeah, this also can allow you to draw 2 cards and discard 1. It can also allow you to special summon a monster from your graveyard. Yeah, it's nothing more to say about this card. It's solid. Borreload Savage Dragon. This is also a must play in your extra deck. This card is basically gonna always be used in your main combo. It's gonna be your main. It's gonna be your Omni negate. So while Apollos is your monster negates, this one you're gonna hold the negates until you get to like your opponent's spell cards, and that's when you wait to use this effect. So this one's gonna be more like your spell slash trap negate. Basically, it can also negate monster effects. So this is a Omni negate that activates once per turn, and you can equip a link monster. Normally we would equip Scrap Wyvern, and then it gains half of Scrap Wyvern's attack, and then it gets Borreload counters, which are its negates up to its link rating. So we always normally do Scrap Wyvern, and it gets 2 negates that are once per turn, so you can have a negate on the next turn as well. Then last but not least, Psyframe Lord Omega. This card I always make in my full combo because of the simple fact that Psyframe Lord Omega is your way to recur Misk from the banish pile and then use it as follow-up for the next turn. This card also banishes itself to rip a card out of your opponent's hand during their main phase. So that makes it even like crazier, and it does it until your next standby phase. So he'll come back on your next standby phase and your opponent will get that card. The amount of times that I use this card's effect like basically helped me win games, because I ripped the perfect card out of my opponent's hand like all of the times that I was able to use his effect, and he just came in clutch. He was definitely an MVP. But yeah, other than that, I will come back and do some test hands for this deck. I did do a side deck, but my side deck wasn't really like how I wanted it to be. And my side deck wasn't really the greatest for my locals. So that's it today for my Dinosaur deck profile. Top 4. Hopefully next time I take it back, we can go first place. You know.